Paul's been arrested, thrown into prison, abandoned by so many of his companions, probably hungry and stripped of all his possessions, and he doesn't even know if he's going to make it out alive. And despite being in really challenging and difficult circumstances, Paul has found joy and peace and even contentment with where he's at. And yet it's been really troubling for the church at Philippi. They love Paul. Just like when Paul had been put into prison there in Philippi and then ran out of town, went to Thessalonica, ran out of town, went to Berea and ran out of town. This church, before he ever left the region of Macedonia, they had taken up a collection to try to aid in Paul's efforts. And now Paul's been arrested again, probably in Rome. And this church once again is determined to share in the fellowship of the gospel by aiding in Paul's needs. And so they've taken up this aid and they've sent it by the hands of the man by the name of Epaphroditus, a messenger of the church. And so Paul's received their gifts. What's amazing to me is Paul's mentality, Paul's perspective of what they've done. There in Philippians 4:17, he says, "Not that I seek the gift, but I seek the fruit that abounds to your account." You know, Paul was really grateful for their gift. And despite being in need, the thing that Paul was focused on the most was not what the gift would do for him, but what it did for them. He saw it as an interest-bearing account that would pay dividends to them. He saw it as a sacrifice to God that was acceptable and pleasing, an aroma that had reached the nostrils of God that was sweet-smelling. I hope we'll allow Paul's mentality here of being served to challenge our perspective. Some of us don't like to be served. Some of us hate to be served. Our pride says that if we allow other people to serve us, then it makes us look weak. Or we don't deserve it somehow. We've had this American pull yourselves up by your own bootstraps mentality that's been hammered in us our entire lives. Now, I'm not saying that we should take advantage of or we should live off of somebody else's hospitality. But what I am saying is that, when other people feel as if they can be a service to us, it's okay to be served by others. It's not a weakness. In fact, it might be another way that somebody else can serve God is by serving you. Remember, greatness in the kingdom is about having a servant's heart and a desire to serve. Well, for them to be great, they've got to have somebody to serve. We really need to work on the mentality. I think that it's not just about what they do for us, but it's maybe even more so about what they're doing for them.